Basics of Communication Skills 2. Effective Written Communication. Let's recap what we learned about effective communication in part 1. How well we transfer and receive the information decides how effective is the communication. What you say and how you say both play an important and equal role in communication. In this segment, we will talk about effective written communication. Written communication is any type of message which makes use of the written words. Anything which is written on email, WhatsApp, books, social media, websites, hoardings, newspapers, etc. becomes part of this. Written words are more powerful than spoken words and carry more credibility. It has longer life and can be used for reference or proof in any future communication. You would know, as a first step to any interview, be it for college admission or a job, the requirement is of a written resume or filled form in detail where we are communicating about ourselves and creating the first impression. Here are some tips to improve your written communication. Over time, only practice of these will make you perfect. Tip 1. No grammatical, spelling, or punctuation mistakes. Grammatical, spelling, and punctuation mistakes show you have poor writing skills, be it on your resume, answer sheets, emails, blogs, messages, etc. It creates poor first impression and at times reader loses interest and does not even read the complete item. If you are not careful about these mistakes, it shows that you are careless and puts a shadow on your credibility. If someone reads a wrong statement, how do they know what it actually means? It can mean something else too and lead to misunderstanding or loss of business. Let's see some examples to bring clarity. First, I find cooking my family very relaxing. Really? The above statement seems like a joke. What it means is, I find cooking for my family very relaxing. A missing for has completely changed the meaning of the statement. Let's see another example of missing punctuation. Let's eat Rakesh becomes let's eat Rakesh. What do you think? The statement is about inviting Rakesh to eat or eating up Rakesh. A missing comma has made all the difference. Tip 2. Structuring. Before you start a written communication, it is important to organize your thoughts and put a structure to it. To organize and structure your thoughts, please use pen and paper or your mobile. Once you have written it down, there will be clarity and structure can be achieved easily. A good structure will help you express yourself more clearly, whether it is an answer paper, an essay, a job application letter, etc. The following steps may help you to structure your writing. Identify the purpose of your communication before you start. Clarity of purpose is more important than style. Identify the key topics, points, and facts to be covered. Decide on a flow of what you want to say. Start strong and finish strong. A strong introduction will make an immediate impression. Strong finish will remain with the reader after they have finished reading. Be short and sweet. Very long sentences become difficult to understand. Also, grammatical mistakes tend to happen. Same goes for long paragraphs. Keep one thought in one para, and the starting statement should communicate the thought. Highlight the key points. Use heading, bullet points, underline, or bold to make the key points stand out. Beginning, middle, and end. The overall layout should be clear and easy to understand with these three elements. A simple task for you to practice. Write a job application or a letter to your father on why you want to start working while studying. Keep the above points in mind while doing so. Does the introduction clearly state the subject and purpose? Does it have a strong opening? Tip 3. Keep the audience in mind. As we learnt in the verbal communication segment, the flow and form of communication depends on who the audience is. Key points to address as per the audience are: first, should the communication be formal or informal? Second, how much detail and information is required? Third, should there be use of difficult words or is it more important for the person to understand easily? Example: a WhatsApp message sent to a friend should be informal than message sent to your father. A college report needs to match the standard of difficulty of explanation expected by the teacher and not by your friends. Tip 4. Style of writing. Remember, it is more important for the reader to understand your written communication than to see how stylish it is. Some key points to remember are: first, is your written communication looking neat and pleasing to the eye? Second, is it short, simple, but clear? If you are not sure of any word, drop it. Third, are the sentences and paragraphs very long? There should always be a line left after a paragraph to decongest and help in reading. Fourth, are bullet points used to highlight main points? It also helps in making the paragraph small. Fifth, is the first sentence interesting and creates curiosity to read on? There are no rules, but they say that a sentence longer than 30 words and a paragraph longer than 8 to 10 sentences should be made small. We are now going to talk about email etiquette, an important tool used by every person who must do formal communication. The points discussed till now about written communication must be kept in mind while writing an email. Now let's see what else is important. Let me ask you a question first. What is missing when you're writing an email instead of doing a verbal communication? The smile on your face, the handshake, tone of your voice, which helps build a rapport and connect. It is important to remember this while writing an email and always be respectful and courteous. Start with respect, addressing the person as Dear Mr. XYZ, or if familiar, then you can use Hi Mr. XYZ or Hello Mira, followed by the greeting of the hour, a good morning or a good afternoon or a good evening. Or you can also use Hope you're doing really well. The mail should always end with regards or warm regards or thank you and have a nice day. Do's and don'ts. First, don't show anger in an email. Any word written in capital letters or bold or bigger font shows your discomfort or anger. At times, it is used to highlight something important or urgent, but it is best to avoid it. Second, don't use strong words in an email as you are not there to explain what you mean and soften the impact. Use softer, friendlier words to convey the same meaning. Third, always have a strong and clear subject line. The purpose of the mail should be understood through it. Fourth, keep it short and sweet. Acceptable email size should have one sentence to open and greet, one paragraph of 4 to 5 sentences to explain the main issue, two sentences to explain the next action steps, and one or two sentences to warmly thank and close. Fifth, read it at least twice before sending it. It will help avoid any confusion or misinterpretation. Also gives you time to edit what is not required. Sixth, always do spelling and punctuation check. A simple task for you to practice. Write an email to your teacher requesting permission for a class party in college hours.